It's dyno day for Dave's Harrop Blown LS GU4 Patrol. Since we last saw the car, Dave has removed all of the raw alloy items. He's had everything powder coated. Everything else has been buttoned up on the car at Dave's house. And now we're down at Night Family Motorsport with our mate Kai. And we've bolted it onto the hub dyno to hopefully make a bit of power. The car isn't finished yet. The interior is still out of the car. The aircon's not finished. I still haven't fitted the Dobinsons Anti lift kit, but we'll get that done later in the episode. Right now we're bolting onto the dyno, get it tuned and get it running first. Then we'll get all that stuff done at a later date.
Hell yeah.
How you doing, Kai?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself, mate?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
That's the go.
You've already loaded a file into this, so it's kind of, is it half tuned? What's the go?
Oh, it's got a base file that I created for it, yeah. It's, I wouldn't say it's tuned, it's like
okay.
1/10 tuned.
So I shouldn't have been giving it flat knacker on the way here then, or?
Oh, I mean, it's probably fine. If it's still here, then it's probably
nah, I drove responsibly, that's all good. So what's anything to talk about with this? Pretty straightforward for you, I suppose?
Well, it's one of those things that, like, we obviously, a lot of the stuff we do which on the channel would be Haltech based stuff. Probably the best way to explain it is that factory ECU stuff is actually like a magnitude more complex than aftermarket ECU stuff. Every different ECU manufacturer has their own take on how to run an engine. And same as every aftermarket ECU manufacturer has their own take. So learning each one is different. I have done quite a bit on the GM platform, and specifically this runs at E38 PCM. So I'm fairly familiar with them, but yeah, they're definitely the ECUs in these, compared to a Haltech's nice. They got a cool little help file. It'll tell you how all the functions work and what they're supposed to do. GM did not give us that. They don't actually want us to be in the ECU at all. So we're using the thousands and thousands of hours of people that have reverse engineered these ECUs to then figure out the logic flow. So yeah, it's one of those things that some people just hate them with a passion, the stock ECU thing, and it's mainly because they probably don't understand it, because it is a complex piece of equipment. It was never designed for tuners to work with. It was designed for the factory calibration engineers to get the job done and pass emissions testing and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but anyway, it's like I said, if you do understand it, just like anything, I think we'll have a good day today, and it should run and drive. It'll think it's a Commodore. But it's going to be wrapped in a Patrol. So.
As Kai mentioned, tuning the standard ECU is possible, but it is a lot more time consuming than, say, using a Haltech. Kai has tuned plenty of these blower combinations before, so he's got a pretty good idea of what this engine wants to see timing and fuel wise, so the map he's loaded in is already quite accurate. After some dyno configurations, we're ready to do a pull and see what this bad boy can make.
Yeah, it's like it's still shooting up, eh?
That's a pretty good start, eh?
Definitely heading in the right direction, isn't it?
You called 600 from the very beginning, I'm pretty sure, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I thought it'd probably go somewhere close to, yeah.
Nice. Nothing to report, mate?
No, it all looks pretty good. We're just saying it. That's essentially the file we sort of just threw together the other day. It looks pretty close. We can definitely clean up the fueling in a couple of places, but realistically, it's pretty close. Timing-wise, this is very, very pretty much spot on. But that was what happens when you tune to fuel pump. So yeah, that all looks pretty sweet. Everything looks good. Air temps look good. Blower's really not working hard at all. I think we're like 9.5 pounds to 8 up top or something. It's like.
Have you tuned many 2300s on LSs?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the blower capable of? As in boost wise?
If you really start to turn it up, it could probably do, like you can see, it depends on the cubic inches, and also like the big thing with blower boost is it depends on how rowdy the engine is. If the engine flows air really well, the exact same set of pulleys will make less boost on a really rowdy engine than on a tame engine. You know what I mean? So it's very combo dependent. But you commonly will see like the upper end that I see commonly, like without just spinning the absolute craziness out of it, like at a still where the blower's happy, would be like 750, 800-ish. You can normally see.
Sweet.
Some people will spin them harder than that, but you're spinning the blower well beyond like its intended
efficiency.
speed.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you Harrop sort of say like how fast to spin it and stuff, and you'll be like considerably over that.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's when you bump up to a 2650, I suppose.
Exactly. They make bigger blowers to do it more efficiently these days. Realistically, I would say if you want 1,000 plus, use a 2650. But the 2300 is an absolute beautiful blower for around this. I would say 600 to 600 to 750ish area. You know what I mean? And obviously they can go less than that.
Yeah.
But like somewhere around there, that's a really, really, really good efficient combo. Great for a pump fuel street car. Realistically, most of the other ones, if you're going to be over 1,000, you're going to be on E85 or something anyway, you know what I mean? So for something that you are just 98, your daily driving, very hard to look past these kids.
Definitely enough power to tow the HQ around.
Oh yeah, it should be enough to rip the drawbar off the trailer. Alright, so we're about to do some verification. We want to see how restrictive this airbox is. Numbers through the full intake, exhaust and snorkel system we're seeing, it's making about 598. It'd be nice to see the Magic 600. It should be said, it's not on a kill tune, so to speak. The mixture's quite fat, the timing's a bit lazy. Again, this car is designed to be a tow and a full driving daily rig, essentially, so we're not going for, it's not on kill. But we're just interested to see how much restriction this airbox provides. I think it will provide some restriction, even though Dave's done an excellent, like, as far as packaging goes, he's used every single bit of available space, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of an improvement with this popped off. So I've literally just loosened these clamps and we're going to pop this sucker off and we're going to do another run. See what it does.
Saw quite a gain then, which is basically an increase in boost pressure and higher RPM. Now we've swapped out the K&N filter, so panel filter, for a genuine Toyota one, which is just a 200 series Land Cruiser filter. So see if that actually causes a restriction, which it may do. It's a genuine filter. You're right. Yeah. This is obviously a high flow thing. I think I can. Can you see my face? No, they definitely were not designed to make 600 horsepower. The original design for the airbox was to stop the dusting issue on cruisers, which is what the standard filter doesn't seal properly. So that's why Dave came up with this idea. And now it's on a LS Power Patrol instead. I'm going to round that up to 600 horsepower at 10 pound of boost through the Harrop. 2300 is pretty bloody impressive for a heavy ass GU Patrol. This thing isn't a race car, it's Dave's tow car for his HQ, it's a family tourer and also kind of a daily driver, so definitely more than enough power.
Oh yeah, it's chassis extended as well, it's a big girl.
Pretty cool to see the difference in the K&N filter and the standard 200 series filter too. That's basically like 5 horsepower.
Yeah,
I think 8 was 598 kind of thing was a max you made, but
yeah, that was with the K&N. Yeah, it's but yeah, it was essentially back to back with no other tuning changes, about 5 horsepower difference. But also you see the difference is there's no difference up until maybe 5,500 RPM. There's no difference at all, and that's also true with the airbox connected or not connected. So we did run it with no airbox connected at all, just to get what could it do. And same deal, up to 5,500, there's literally no difference at all. And then from there on is where we start to see the restriction come into it. But yeah.
So I think to test the complete airbox without a filter would be removing the snorkel, but that's also to account for too. It's got a 4-inch snorkel that's, what's that, another 2 meters of pipe. So definitely quite a restriction there, which is why it made that extra, say 40 horsepower with no airbox. But
yeah,
how far do you go again? It's not a race car. You could change throttle body size. You could put a bell mouth on the throttle body. You could put ice in the intercooler. Like, yeah.
And like we were saying, like the only place that actually makes a difference is above 5,500, which is kind of, not to say it won't get driven there, but it definitely won't be where it gets driven regularly.
Yeah,
it will be,
for sure.
It's out of its normal area of operation.
Speaking of driving, the tune isn't finished yet. We're now going to go for a drive to go get some smoko. But also, Kai's going to jump on the laptop, and the main thing is transmission tuning, is it?
Yeah, a lot of it, we're using obviously the 6L80 in this, and then we've got it's picking up it's doing a whole heap of stuff with vehicle speed calculation, because obviously it was in a VF Commodore, it used to use a CAN bus system, and that, it doesn't have any of that stuff anymore, so there's a bit of verification to do with that. But then once that all sort of checks out, then we'll be pretty well done.
Sweet, and then after that we'll bail out back to the shed and continue on working on the car. Sweet.
Nice.
I'm keen for some Savlakis again, eh?
Savlaki?
Yeah, are they still open? Yeah?
They should be. What's the time?
Dude, that is wild. Noises coming from a car is just... That's pretty epic. Oh yeah.
You're like, okay.
It's a, I don't know how much this thing weighs, but that was good, eh?
Yeah, it was cool.
The main purpose of road testing is to make sure the gearbox is behaving. This, it's got a stock converter, so it kind of pushes through the converter a bit on idle, and Dave has said that he might want to change that too. So Kai's just said there's no point going too crazy with the gearbox if the converter is going to be changed, because it's going to throw everything else out, isn't it? So
yeah, 100%. The torque converter, the way the torque converter couples, it does change massively the way that you set up the gearbox tuning when it changes gears, all that sort of stuff. So we have felt that we're idling this thing at about 720 RPM at the moment, which is about as low as this cam wants to idle. But yeah, you do feel a little bit of, especially at low range, it's just got so much gear ratio that it tries to push a little bit. But there's not much we can really do, so yeah, I think it'll probably end up getting the torque converter slightly loosened, just to help with that. But otherwise, it seems to, for a big, heavy car, it goes decent.
Road test was a success. I'm going to have to change the hat that says I love cars, because this thing is absolutely epic. Kai has changed a few things. I'll get back in the sunlight. The one thing he's going to flash into the ECU now is when we're in second, we're doing about 20 k's an hour, and I stomped it. It started to pull away, and obviously it makes enough power and torque that it was moving, but then it decided to shift back down to first, so it makes enough power that we can change that out. So from a standstill, it will start off from first, but if you're moving and then you trumpet, it's not going to shift back down. So that's one thing. And then again, as I mentioned before, Dave may be changing the converter in the future, so for what it is now, it's working perfectly fine. Kai also wants to actually hook the car trailer up with the HQ on the Patrol and then go for another drive just to make sure that it drives fine. But that will be a future thing. Right now we're going to get this sorted. I'll get the car back to the shed, I'll sort out the aircon, I'll sort out the lift, and then from there I think the rest of the stuff, like putting the interior and stuff back in the car, we'll get it finished off eventually 100%, and Dave can then enjoy the hell out of it. We're back in the LS factory, and I got my mate Miller from Miller's Auto Electrics, and we're going to start on the aircon. Aircon in your daily driver or performance car or your four-wheel drive, whatever it is a must, especially in Queensland. So we've got a couple of fittings here. These are just this is a Patrol one. I've just chopped off what we don't need, and I'm gonna TIG weld some fittings on there. Miller, what do you got over here? Where's the rest of it? We've got, so what's this stuff here?
Just
oh yeah, lube. Yep. I've got basically some screw-on fittings. So I've got to TIG this on, service ports, and what else we got there? That's for the front.
Fittings that we can TIG weld on. That's for the number 6, so that's condenser.
Yep.
Condenser outlet. We'll TIG them on and get some aircon.
So my job first is to TIG everything on. Once we get that done, then we can crimp up some lines. So I'll do my best not to ruin anything, not melt some stuff, and from there, we can then vac it down and gas it up.
Make some cold air.
Sweet as.
Aircon in Queensland is a must, and for some reason it's one of those jobs that everyone gets scared of with their project cars. It's a job that needs to be planned out from the start, so if you're building a drift car, cool, maybe you don't need aircon, but for a car like this, it's definitely something that you need to think about before starting the project.
Downslope's too long. The best thing about professionals like Miller is that he's mobile and can come to you to do your aircon. So pretty stoked on that. Now we're about to crimp up some lines. Miller's been squirreling away, getting all the rest of the fittings crimped up. Now I've just finished welding that last pipe. That's the last one to do, eh?
That's it.
Sweet, awesome. Miller's got all his tools, the crimpers, bunch of different O-rings and stuff. It's funny. Miller does like, what do you do, like with excavators and trucks.
Big gear, trucks and earth moving.
Supercharged LS Patrols. So Miller's got a bunch of stuff spare, so we're using just stuff like we've got a different pressure switch and different service ports and stuff, so it's actually worked out really well. And Dave is going to have some aircon, so long as my fittings don't leak. You got nitrogen to test this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
we will
sweet.
be testing it.
Come on, where's the face?
No, just got to make sure.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Oh, that bottom one worked out really good.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Good job. Also, pro tip, Miller taught me this. These Schrader valve fittings do not undo from the line. Although it looks like it undoes from there, it's actually the top part that comes off.
It's same as right there.
Yeah, I've made that mistake. I was trying to get it off and Miller's like, no, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, sweet.
That's where your old one comes off.
Yeah,
and
cool.
replaces that bit there.
Yeah. Awesome. Sneaky.
A bit less. Yeah, about there. Sweet. Yep. Recycling the VF Commodore condenser really helped us out in this situation. The lines were on the same side as the compressor, which made for an easy path to the compressor, up to the evaporator, and back down to the front to the condenser. Oh, what do you think of the LS, Uncle Russell?
It's all right.
It's all right. It's not a HJ, is it?
It's not a 304, but anyway.
This would look good in your car, mate. I reckon it'd look good.
Just needs to poke out a bit more out.
Oh.
Yeah, lube.
With the line secure, Miller connects up a nitrogen bottle to pressure test the system. We're then spraying any crimps or welded fittings with some soapy water to check for bubbles, which will indicate a leak.
Yeah, no leaks.
So you back in the high side only. Watch your low side. And if your low side starts coming down, it's a TX valve.
Had the vac pump on there for a solid half an hour and now we're ready for gas. I don't know if this is a normal thing. I'm assuming people may not have seen how aircon is done, which is why I'm showing this. So we've got the gas bottle on some scales. This is R134A is the gas for automotive to use. Is that standard for house and stuff too?
No,
They're
so
different.
this is automotive only.
Okay,
So
yeah.
trucks, machines and cars.
Okay, sweet. So the vacuum pump has put a vacuum in the system, and now Miller has put some gas in. Usually you do high slide first, and then start it with, then you start it, activate the compressor, that's right?
Correct, yeah. So you bomb about 30-50% in the high side, just to get some in the system, and then you can start it up, engage it, and then feed the rest in slowly through your low side.
Sweet. So a VF Commodore takes 600 grams of gas, and a Patrol takes, how much is a Patrol?
700.
700. So we're going to split the difference, about 650. But also you can check the gauges and monitor the gauges. It's winter time for us now here, so your gauge pressures are going to be a lot different to when it is summertime and it's scorching hot. But for now, we can check the pressures and make sure we can get enough gas. It's pretty well the same anyway. The difference being with the Patrol probably had a lot longer line, but this is pretty well the same as a VF Commodore, give or take.
See what it does once you start it up.
Starting.
Quick roll.
No compressor, no. Hot wire it.
Give me a minute.
Auto electrician engaged. Yeah, sweet. You do all the right things. Is it from my weld?
Yeah,
Oh, bummer.
just in the back side of that now.
Turns out there is a leak, which is a bit of a bummer. But not to worry. So now we're going to evacuate the gas, weld up the nut again, and then pressure test it again. Oh well, these things happen. Where's my I hate cars hat?
Ooh, I reckon that little pinhole will do it every time. Bummer.
I've got that dodgy aircon fitting fixed up. We've regassed the system and the aircon works kind of. We got gas in there. What actually happened was when we tested it with nitrogen, we had about 250 PSI in there. No leaks, all good. When we gassed it, the fans weren't activating and I just high-sided. The high pressure went through the roof and it actually popped that line. Also, my bad, there was a pinhole in the fitting. I didn't weld it correctly, but that's why it didn't show up with the nitrogen test. So that fitting's now fixed. We've got some gas in there. What's actually happening though, because the fans are PWM controlled through the PCM and the aircon system's CAN controlled, so it goes through the body control module. Activating those fans via the ECU isn't as easy as just clicking a button. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen there. Dave's going to work with Tommy and Kai to come up with a solution. Possibly swap out the fans for some aftermarket ones that we can then tee in a pressure switch that activate the fans for the aircon. Or maybe add the body control module. I'm not too sure what's happening, but for now, it's got gas in it. It works for the most part, and we can sort that out at a later date. Now what we're moving on to is installing a lift kit, or probably an anti-lift kit, as it were. This thing, I think it might be like 4-inch plus. It's very, very tall, and the shocks in the rear are actually leaking, so they're a bit worn. It does get a bit floaty, so we're going to replace them with some Dobinsons kit. I believe this is a 3-inch kit, so we've got springs and shocks. We've actually weighed the car, we've corner weighed the car and sent that to the guys because it has got a 300mm chassis extension and an engine conversion. It's just good. It's just more data for them to know, okay, cool, we've actually got what this weighs, albeit it didn't have a full tank of fuel or the canopy wasn't, stocked with stuff, but at least we've got a ballpark to work with. So shocks and springs, these are the remote res 3-way shocks, awesome bit of kit, and I'm assuming it's going to be relatively easy to install because, well, I am wearing the hat. This is a lucky hat. This means everything goes smoothly, but we'll see how we go. After that, we'll go for a little road test and make sure it drives better because it was a bit floaty on the road. So let's get hooked in and hopefully nothing goes wrong. recipe for a smack in the face, eh? So close.
Did I 50 kill myself?
Yeah. For sale, one 4-inch lift kit for Super GU4. Oh, all patrols are the same, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Oh, they give you a little like before and after thing on the box. Probably should have measured it before and after.
Yeah.
Oh well. Big before, after, unknown.
Now, is that going to slip in easy? Oh yeah, way better.
Way better. Sweet ass, but where does this thing sit? Oh.
This spring's a bit taller.
Sweet. I'm the kind of guy that keeps that bit of wire for no reason apart from I'll never use it, but I know it'll come in handy one day.
I definitely hoard that stuff.
I've put it in the one-day drawer. That drawer's too full, actually. I'm gonna have to start another drawer.
I got many of those. You can bend them into like caliper hooks and stuff.
That's actually a sick idea.
That's what I do.
I need some rubbers. Deflate the airbags. Davo's got the setup going. He's even got a pressure sensor. Sick. We need to like vacuum those bags down though to get them in. How do we do that? Yeah.
We can do that. Brake fluid sucker.
This is gonna work.
It's either going to be a successful hack or a waste of time.
It might work.
Oh. Hey.
Truth be told, I've never had anything to do with helper airbags. Maybe Jacob and Benny can tune in to share some tips, but I'm pretty sure I got this sorted. I might have to add it to the list for the Pajero.
You gotta sell it to me.
Would you like this? I've got to get the Dobinsons on the outside. I'm using that. Oh, you're getting my facials now. Sweet.
Beautiful.
What do we set them to?
I don't know. Halfway?
Well, do we just leave them out what they've been set to out of the box? Or do we have to go like jump it and then test it?
Okay, so DI for R&D.
Okay, for going up the beach.
Yeah. Purely R&D. Sure. No? Oh, there it goes.
guys. That's still sitting at a good height.
It is, eh? It looks pretty good. Give it a week of driving though.
Yeah.
Come down.
It's definitely come down like a good inch, maybe 2 inches, but sick. Well,
That noise was the springs settling into the front diff because it has got drop boxes and the caster is changed. Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, the diff's on a bit of an angle.
the drop boxes would help.
Well,
It's going to rotate the diff back. I don't know. It looked like they were rotated too far forward, but the diff was really low.
it's settled now anyway. So
Yeah, that's way better now that it's on the ground.
We didn't measure the car before, but I can say it was huge, and we've definitely dropped the car down a considerable amount, which is what we wanted. With 600 horsepower on tap and the car sitting at a more suitable ride height, we're ready to drop the car back to Dave to see what he thinks.
A quick little road test and I suppose a final drive to end the build series on the Patrol. Really stoked with how this car turned out. It's the first project that I took on in the new shed. It was to help a mate out, and that mate also helped me out, so everything worked out really well. The Dobinsons lift, we do need to do some fine tuning for those shocks. It is, you know, when we give it a big hoik on the steering wheel, the front's a bit floaty, but they're really soft, so we'll wind those up. It does require some fine tuning, so I don't know if Dave's actually going to go jumping this thing or whatever, but he can tune it to suit his driving style. But all in all, this car's awesome. 600 horsepower, supercharged V8, extended chassis. It's going to turn out perfect for what Dave's going to use it for, which is to tow his HQ around and I suppose go family trips camping too. So I don't know, bit of a do it all. Got to say thanks to Geordie and thanks to all my mates that have helped out. Thanks to the awesome companies we work with to pull off builds like this. And I'm excited to get into some more four-wheel drive content. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but some people do like it. So I think the next car we're going to be working on is probably a Pajero. Back into the Pajero thing.
Or the red one.
Oh, do you want to do that? Hey Lockie, do you want to turbo your car? Is that alright?
It'll be a Mr. Whippy spec, I reckon. Just slap a turbo under it.
Yeah. Weekly deadline.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you for watching another episode of the Skid Factory. We're going to drop this back to Dave and then get stuck back into the burrito bus. Enjoy the moment. I will see you next time on the Skid Factory. Cheers.
I forgot to thank the most important person, and that's Dave, for trusting me with the build. He's a very skilled bloke and could have pulled this project off himself, but he trusted me to get it done, so thank you, Dave. Also, thanks to Tom Watts, Daniel Brown, Gregorius Shanpaska, Charles Bottomane, and Michael Moore. Thank you for supporting the Skid Factory via Patreon. What's for dinner? I'm having beef nachos. Don't forget the Avo. 600 horsepower was the... I'm not even filming. God damn it. God damn it. I'm the captain now. Page up for the win. I just smashed me Savlaki and keyboard cut it. We are. Start the meter. So good, eh? It shouldn't be in a Patrol, man. God damn it. Make sure you change the bloody machine back to AC. My bad. Little bit of Saturday relax for ya. Get on it. This is cleaning the house tunes. I just want to point out that it's not the end of this car. I'm definitely going to have it back on the channel. Once it's finished, once everything's sorted out, maybe get the Tiptronic working, go for a rip on the track, or go on a trip with Dave or something like that, trip up the beach, go and use it and have some fun. This is an awesome car to drive and I'm keen to see more of it. If you want to buy some merch like a Skid Factory long sleeve, hit the link in the corner. If you want to watch more LS stuff, hit another link over here for Mr. Zippy. Or if you want to subscribe to support the channel, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done already. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Yeehaw.